With just over a week of lockdown to go, law enforcement agencies have fared well in terms of enforcing the regulations. Now, there's been a huge drop in murder cases compared to this time last year. If we look at murder as the most accurately recorded offence, crime statistics from the 29th of March to the 22nd of April last year, when compared to the same period this year, show that actual murder cases have dropped from 1,542 to 432. This is a decrease of 1,110 murders. Now, for more on this, I'm joined on the line by Police Minister Bheki Cele. Minister, a very good morning to you and thank you for your time. You've unveiled the lockdown period crime stats yesterday. How did you collate the figures, especially with the huge problem of massive underreporting of crimes?
Well, definitely that could be correct. We are dealing with the COVID-19, but there are other good byproducts. That product will be the reduction of crime, especially serious and violent crime. Well, when it comes to murder, it's not a difficult one, because when you say somebody is dead, you can see the body. So the underreporting or overreporting there, it doesn't count much on the murder. Maybe on other cases, yes, but with murder, it's better measured because you do see the dead bodies. So that reduction on the murder is one that we really believe that we are correct. These are raw figures for now, not that have been proven by statisticians to make it statistics, but these are the bodies that we take information that somebody has been murdered, you put that in the case in the police station that is corrected by the national office to give that national. Others, as you say, it could be under or over reporting, but looking at the rate that is 2,537 down, it does tell you that something better has happened out of the lockdown, and especially the reduction and the restriction of alcohol, and of course the availability of the security forces that are roadblocks that are all over there. So it does give the better outlook, the better outcome when it comes to crime.
And Minister, when are you planning on releasing a more comprehensive crime picture with detailed statistics?
Well, the statistics are given annually, when are given in September. Unfortunately, these statistics you see now, they don't fall on 2019, 2020. This is already 2020-21. So they will reflect as the statistics are overall given come September next year. Though there is a thinking, and I think it's gaining momentum, the thinking that crime stats should be at least given quarterly, so that South Africans are better informed about what's going on in terms of violent crime. Is it increasing? Is it reducing? Also helping the operators to understand and get information earlier so that they can change and update their operation. There is that thinking, but what you see now does not fall under the statistics that are going to be given come September. This is already the next financial year.
Absolutely. Now, Minister, 131 public service representatives have been arrested. This is according to the numbers you released yesterday. 89 of them are within the police force. Now, yesterday you said that the arrest proved that nobody is above the law. You're going to go guns blazing and arrest those who are found to have committed crimes. Are we going to see more arrests of your men in blue, your men and women in blue? Because surely, Minister, these arrests point to a pre-existing problem within the police force.
Well, if they commit crime, continue to commit crime, yes, you will. It's a sad news, but it's true, and it needs to be done. As you said, it's 131 people that have been arrested. These are the kind of people that are supposed to be helping to help the community that is in distress there. But they find an opportunity of doing things that they're not supposed to do. There are top officials, the health officials among themselves, correctional service. There are councillors, political party councillors, by the way, that are arrested on these matters. 89 of them are members of the South African police. Among them even the senior find some captains and all that. We wish that they would not be there, but if they commit crime, they want to exchange their blue uniform for orange uniform, that will happen. We hope that the rest of the police will realize that they are not immune of getting arrested, and they stop what they're not supposed to do, and they do what. But if they continue, we'll have to continue to arrest them. What is important here is that these police are arrested by their own colleagues, which means there are good police among the organization, and there are bad ones. So we will flush off those bad apples, and we make sure that we create a better organization.
Now, you also noted a remarkable decrease for domestic-related crimes, noting the fact that most of the domestic violence incidents, the perpetrators are known to the victims. You urged family and communities to assist in such incidents, saying that there's only so much that police can do. Now, with such a remarkable number, do you think that you're perhaps maybe handing over the responsibility here, especially knowing that we've seen communities and vigilante law?
Definitely cannot hand over the responsibility to the communities. But again, out of this, the figure of 3,061 domestic violence, almost 2,500 is committed by the people that are well known to the people who become victims. It would be girlfriends, it would be boyfriends against girlfriends, or vice versa. It would be husbands against wives most of the time. Even fathers against daughters, fathers against grandsons, and all that. Now, that kind of crime, when we all go to sleep, when we all get inside the house and close the doors, that begins to happen. So it's very difficult for the law enforcement to be able to be proactive. They can only react when the crime has been reported. Well, somebody has told me that, unfortunately, under the lockdown, even reporting has become difficult because the perpetrator can monitor you, your movement and all that. Is one area where we are having it tough on the domestic violence, but domestic violence is a societal matter. The society itself will have to rise on that. Family matters, and indeed the law and the justice system will have to come and help those that are perpetrated. It's quite a difficult area to deal with, and we concede, but let's work together on this one. Try hard to reduce it.
Absolutely. Now, over 100,000 people have been arrested during this period. What measures have you taken to make sure that the very holding cells that you take them to don't assist in the spread of coronavirus?
Well, 118,000 to be exact, but what we're trying to do is that we don't keep them either in the cells or in the correctional services. As you have realized, that in the correctional service that we know is prison, there are problems at the present moment. We try to process them. Most of them are given the sports fine and the bail that it's there. So that they still come before court. Out of that, 42,388 of them, they are having the outstanding court dates that they have to go. Others have been given the sports fine either by the court or by the police themselves. So, because we wouldn't have the enough space to keep them, these 118,000. To be honest, the Minister of Correctional Service is working hard to try to create the space of the people that are there. The United Nations has made a call to say that the world that has the overpopulated community of prisoners will have to see what to do under COVID. And I believe that South Africa, we're 37% overpopulated ourselves, so we need to deal with the people that are there. So those that, because remember, this COVID, some of them would not be those very violent crime, would be the petty crime, people dealing with breaking the regulations. So you can put them in the easy system, like fining them, sports fine and all, and let them go and come to court at a later date.
As you mentioned courts, Minister, the courts have been asked to stay open to a certain extent. Have you found that them operating at this time has been useful in your work?
the court, unfortunately, will be forever clocked. It's a clock system, the court. People, they look at the police and say they are not arresting or they are arresting more. 118,000 people arrested in almost a month. There's a lot of people to go to court. Remember, it would be easier to arrest you, put you on the cell, take the statement, take the fingerprint, but it's a more strenuous process to go to court and all that. We will take some time to create that synergy, to synergize the same speed and same passage from police to court. We would have loved to see more people going to court quicker, get sentenced, so that we know, as the police, that we have stripped off those people that are not supposed to be in the community. But to answer your question exactly, there is still a hiccup, there is still a blocking of the system when it goes to court, rather than they are arrested by the police.
And very quickly, before we let you go, Minister, just going back to the question I asked you before this one, just to get a sense of the manner in which you're handling those you're arresting and you're holding cells, are you just saying that at this point in time there could be a possibility that people are likely to get infected in the cells because of the number of people that are being arrested?
Definitely, the possibility is always there. But as the South African police, we have put measures. For instance, we try hard to sanitize our own vans and keep sanitizers in all police stations and all that. But even on the cells, to see that as we take people to our cells, they are sanitized and the people themselves are sanitized. Visits are not allowed to the police cells and the prison cells at the present moment. But nonetheless, especially in some correctional service centers, the prisons, especially PE, and unfortunately for now, are only those small ones. The big ones, like Sun City, Durban, Westville, where they have not been affected, and no people that have been infected there. So we need to work hard to prevent that those things don't happen there. And one thing of preventing is to cut down as much as we can the new cases going to the old prisons and try to keep them where they are, so that you don't spread, you don't import the COVID-18 patients from outside to inside. It's what we're trying to do to limit those movements and those new conducts.
Minister, thank you so much for your time. That was Police Minister Bheki Cele just giving us a sense of the crime statistics that were announced yesterday.